Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from Down Under, and today we're going to be talking about the best hero in Overwatch for new players. The most overpowered, the most easy hero that anybody can go and pick up and play and have a very significant impact on the battlefield. Everybody's been saying, oh, look at Reinhardt, he's the best for a new player. Or look at Soldier 76, he's the best for a new player. And all these other heroes. But everybody's been overlooking by far the best, and that is Mei. Mei's one of the very few Overwatch heroes that can be played very, very aggressively, have a significant defensive contribution, and put out a ton of damage. An absolute metric shit ton of damage if you know how to go and play her right. Now let's go and start it with her primary weapon, and that's the Endothermic Blaster. Now very simply, you hold down left click and you go and freeze people. It does 45 damage per second, and that may not be too high, but the fact that if you go on top of a target and you freeze them for long enough, they actually go and turn into solid ice for a small duration of time. But that duration of time is generally long enough for your teammate to go and back you up, delete that target off the face of the earth, because a person not moving in Overwatch is a dead target, a very, very, very dead target. But let's go and say that you're in a 1v1, you go and freeze your enemy. What do you do to go and finish them off? Well, you press right click, and that goes and shoots out an icicle that can go and do 22 to 75 damage, and it can go in headshot. So if you're right in front of somebody and you've gone and froze them, you just aim at the head, you right click, boom, you can go and take them out very, very easily. Even though she is a defensive character, Mei has a ton of damage with her icicle and freezing combo. The freezing already does quite significant damage, and then you go and back it up with the finishing maneuver. You can go and 1v1 people, 1v1 offensive characters if you go and play her right. Alright, so in Overwatch, you're bound to go and make quite a few mistakes as a beginner. You don't really know what to do, you don't really know the maps, you don't really know the matchups or whatever between heroes and whatnot. But Mei's a hero that if you do go and make a bit of a mistake, it doesn't go and get punished. You press your shift ability, she turns into a block of ice and becomes invulnerable for 4.5 seconds. And during that 4.5 seconds, you go and heal up basically the full HP. This is absolutely fantastic for many reasons. Basically, if you go and misposition, you can press shift and wait for your teammates to go and back you up. If you're in a bit of a 1v1 and you need a bit of a heal, press shift and you're going to go basically back up the full HP, and you're going to have a really, really good chance of winning that 1v1 with the aforementioned Endothermic Blast, as I said before. There's another situation as well. Let's say you're on top of objective. You have some very, very high damage carries in Tracer and Reaper, but they are taking a little bit of damage. Basically, if you go press that shift key, everybody will go and think, okay, there's an icicle, let's go and shoot at it, but you're invulnerable, you're like a homing beacon, and that means your offensive carriers can go right to the backline, absolutely destroy, and you can go and freeze, you can go and really, really layer up the damage, layer up the CC, and while you're going and tanking a little bit, even though you're not a tank, you're really drawing the aggro, which is perfect. You can go and let your carries do the work. Alright, let's go and talk about her E ability, and that is called Ice Wall. It's basically like Trump. You want a wall, you put up a wall, and it is very, very easy to do, but super, super effective. It can be played in many different ways. You want to go and block off a choke point, you go and put up a wall. If there's enemies flooding into an objective, you can go and simply block them off with a wall. It is very, very simple, but extremely effective, and it buys you a very, very, very few crucial seconds that you can go and use to go and capture the point. But let's say you're in a 1v1 scenario. You've already gone and used your freeze. You've already gone and healed up. You've already gone and used your invulnerability period, and you've got to go and disengage from a 1v1. Just put a wall basically at your feet, and it puts a barrier between you and your enemy, and it is so simple, but can be used in so many different ways, and it can literally change the game every 10 seconds. Alright boys, let's go and talk about her ultimate ability, and that is called Blizzard. And Blizzard is so versatile. Basically, you go and put down the drone, and the drone does a little bit of damage in the area effect. It's not too much, it's not in comparison to other ultimates, obviously. It doesn't do too much damage, but its main ability is the fact that it freezes people in a very, very wide area effect. You pop this on top of an objective, and everybody goes and gets frozen on the enemy team. Now, the reason why this is so big is because Overwatch is obviously a team-based game, and when your teammates go and see there is quite a few enemies, 2, 3, 4, whatever enemies, frozen in place, it is like a flashing beacon, and they are just going to go straight towards these people, and it's going to be the easiest kills of their lives. Let's say you have Pharaoh, the easiest rocket launcher shots. Don't even have to go and compensate for movement. You just aim directly at them. You have a Reaper, he can go and do some very close quarter damage. Tracer, very close quarter damage. You have a DVA, she can go and spray her miniguns. You have a Bastion, he can go and spray his chain gun. Everybody is utilized so well with Mei's ultimate ability, because it makes it so easy for them to go and output the maximum amount of damage. It doesn't matter if your teammates are not the best in the game. If they see people frozen, they're just going to go and chuck their abilities in the general direction, and they're going to go and do a massive amount of damage just because you went and set them up. And that is basically Mei as a whole. You freeze somebody, people are going to go and see, okay, flashing beacon, and trying to go and kill them. You have the cryo freeze, the enemies are going to be like, okay, flashing beacon, but you're taking so much aggro while your teammates can go and put out the damage. Ice wall, go and divide up the map a little bit. Make sure you can go and reset fights that are not advantageous, and obviously her ultimate blizzard, very powerful. Now, the very key reason why I suggest Mei over really any other hero for a beginner play is the fact that, let's take Soldier 76. Soldier 76 is the basic, very standard, stock standard assault rifle guy. He has a gun, he shoots people, he does damage. But if you can't go and play Soldier 76 right, as in you can't go and stay quite far away from the enemies, keep those medium range engages, try to go and take your fights properly. If you don't do that, you're basically useless, because if you go close range, if you go long range, you're not putting out damage, you're not helping out the team, you have basically no utility. You're basically useless for the team as Soldier 76 if you go and play him badly. But Mei is different. Mei is a very different type of hero. Because if you play Mei really well, you are game changing, absolutely game changing. You put up the wall, you go and freeze key enemies, you put your ultimate in the perfect place, you go and hit as many people as possible, you go and freeze yourself to go and delay as much time as possible, absolutely fantastic. But if you go and play it badly, if you put walls up in very weird places, if you go and just spray around with your left click and go and freeze 1 or 2 enemies, if you go and heal at the wrong time but still draw a little bit of aggro, if you go and use your ultimate in weird places but go and freeze at least 1 enemy, you're still doing more. You're still doing more stuff than, let's say, a useless Soldier 76 or useless Tracer or useless Pharaoh or something along those lines. The fact that there are so many easy to use abilities in her kit, but if you go and play her well, you can go and change the game. So much depth to her kit, but very easy to go and start out with. So I go and suggest, go and play Mei at least once. Go and try her out, because she is a character that can go and make some really big game-changing plays, and just be generally annoying with her freezing ability. People hate it when they're not moving, and Mei goes and does exactly that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this commentary. If you did, make sure to go and give it a like rating. But other than that, it's Undercover Dudes all the way from down under.